Hey everybody, welcome back. We are coming at you here from the Badlands in South Dakota. We're out here boondocking, and so we figured now would be a good time to give you some boondocking tips.
Hey everybody, I would like to show you guys what we have for our battery setup on our lazy days. You can see here that we have two Enduro 120 amp hour batteries for a total of 240 amp hours. A little bit expensive for us, but well worth it, well worth it. So when we're not using the batteries on the lazy days, we actually have a small jackery and a large jackery over there that we charge up with these solar panels, and these are really used for the items such as charging up our phones, charging up our cameras. Of course, the batteries on the lazy days are the lights and the pumps and the other items on the rig. So one of the other nice things about having these portable ones is that whenever we want to drive the Jeep anywhere, we'll just take them with us and we'll charge them in the Jeep. So one of the other upgrades we did recently, these nice LEDs that I installed instead of the fluorescent with a dimmer. And we also have some fans that really use a lot less power than the ones that are in the ceiling. And these things are great.
Yeah, it moves a lot of air. Whenever we aren't using things, we go ahead and turn things off. I mean, we don't leave things plugged in case it pulls a charge. We've gone a week or more, 7 nights, 8 days, and we haven't even gotten lower than, what, 70% of our battery?
We actually got closer to 70% when we plugged in the Starlink. The Starlink used a little more power than we expected, but just LEDs, just the pump, just the lights, the fans, yeah, we were only down to 90% power on the batteries.
Yeah, and that's using our water pump whenever we wanted, so it's pretty impressive. So one way that we try to manage our trash when we're boondocking is it starts at the grocery store. So when we're at the grocery store, we actually take as much packaging off as we can and throw it away while we're at the grocery store. And that really seems to help a lot to cut down on what we actually have to dispose of. And then another way when we're boondocking is this thing is so helpful. It's called a Trasharoo. I think they're only like $25 or $29. I think we got it on Amazon. We've had it for years. Take our trash from inside, and when it's, you know, starting to get a little bit full, we'll go ahead and stick it in here. And what we have inside is these, they're a little bit smell proof. They're by Trinka, T-R-I-N-K-A, and they kind of help to cut down on the smells. So we basically put it in this kind of smell proof bag, roll it up. This is not something that I would leave in the Trasharoo overnight if we're in bear country. That just wouldn't be a good idea. So of course, right now we're not in bear country, we're in the Badlands, and we really haven't had any problems with anything. So I'll go ahead and put it on in here, and then we will take that trash to town and empty it in town.
So I think, to be honest, power were good and trash management were good. When we first boondocked, we found that we used quite a bit of water though, even when we conserved water. So we've got 55-gallon freshwater tank on the lazy days, but we actually have a 6-gallon container here that we fill up. I've got another 5-gallon in the back of the Jeep, and we have those filled up, and then whenever we start running low, then we pour back in the fresh tank.
Some of the ways that we conserve water when we're boondocking is I actually catch the shower water in this container, so it's not just going down into the gray tank, and I'll use that to pour into the Berkey, and that way we're not wasting any water. This Dawn Power Wash has been so helpful because you don't even have to like wet your dishes down before you start washing them. So basically I just spray a little bit into whatever dish I'm washing, and, you know, scrub it out, wash it out, and just barely turn on the faucet to do some rinsing. Sometimes if we're really trying to conserve, you can even take a clean water bottle and actually spray all the soap off with the clean water bottle. It barely uses any water at all. So we have done that in the past, but we are finding that we don't really need to do that much anymore. We have gotten pretty good about just leaving this at a trickle to rinse all of our dishes. So sometimes we use paper plates. That saves on some of the water that we have to use.
All right, so let's talk about poop. So this is always a fun topic. One of the things that took us a little bit getting used to was not putting toilet paper down the black tank. So we put it in this trash can. I'm not going to show you the details there, but it doesn't stink, not an issue.
Also, have you guys ever heard the term, if it's yellow, let it mellow? We actually don't do that, but I think it would save a lot of water also. So a lot of people will just if it's just liquids and no solids, then they'll just let it be. And then maybe the second time they go again, then they'll flush. So that kind of conserves the fresh water from being used, but also conserves the gray tank from having all that extra fresh water going down. So that's also a good idea.
But we tend to use the essential oil water mixture the most.
Yeah, we definitely use this as the water, essential oil, and soap mixture. Sometimes if we don't have the pump on, and we'll just give it a really good spray and then just flush the pedal again. And you know, it seems to work out really well.
Everybody probably knows this already too, but wet wipes are your friend. We take a lot less showers than we used to, and we use wet wipe for all the important places.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, and especially in drier environments. I used to be a daily shower taker, and now I haven't had a shower in like 3 days, and guess I don't smell, right babe?
Smell like roses. Another obvious black tank saving tip is if you're in an area where there's not many people around, and the boys, me, I'm going to go outside, number one.
Just don't aim into the wind.
So here's a bonus tip. When we're boondocking, of course, we don't actually use little space heater, use way too much power, and then also our furnace, we don't use that at all because it uses too much propane, too much power. So we actually invested in this catalytic heater by Olympian. It's Wave 8, and a few $100s. We got it on sale at Camping World. What I did is there's a propane tank that we have outside in one of the bins, and I plumbed it over here to this door, and then whenever we need gas or propane, I just pull that line out, plug it in here, and we have heat.
So those are some tips that we have for you for some boondocking. I just basically wanted to kind of illustrate the fact that, you know, we didn't spend $25,000 on a lithium solar kind of system setup.
I'm too cheap for that.
And so we just decided to go ahead and try it and see how it's going for us. I mean, so far we've been boondocking for weeks and we haven't run out of power. Only limiting factor for us is our tanks. As far as power is concerned, it's pretty good. I mean,
yeah, I think that we didn't mention this earlier, but the Lazy Days came with a 100-watt solar panel on the roof. The big investment was the lithium batteries. Those were, you know, a little expensive. They weren't Battleborns, they were Enduros, but still pricey. And Jackeries we had purchased a while ago. Those were nice because they're portable. We can take them with us in the Jeep whenever we drive around and charge them up with the solar panels.
Yeah.
And again, you know, we spent a few $1,000s.
Yeah. So if you found anything useful in this video, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It really helps the channel a lot, and I hope that you learned something and that we can help you stay out there longer like we want to do. And anyways, we'll see you next time.
See you later, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.